So in this video, we're going to talk about nets and the 3D solids that we talked about in the last video. So just remember, a net is when a three-dimensional figure is laid out flat into a two-dimensional figure, and we can use that to build that figure or to figure out the surface area before we come across the formula. So in this particular figure, remember that all prisms have rectangles. So these don't count. It's the oddball shape that names it. So this is a triangular, and it's a prism because there's two. The base shape in that case is a triangle. There's two of them. That's why we call it a prism. So we have three lateral faces. The number of edges. I always like to think of these as the actual three-dimensional figure when I count the edges, because if you think about it, when you're going to fold this together, some of these edges are the same because that's going to fold together. So for me, here's my triangle. That's what it's going to look like put together. So I've got three around the base, just different colors so you can see it, three around the top, and three connecting all those vertices. So that's going to be 9 edges. How many vertices? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6. This one's probably not hard to recognize. It is a cylinder. It's a cylinder versus a cone because there are two. The base shape is a circle. That's why we call it a cylinder. Number of lateral faces. Really, there's just a curved surface there is what we're going to write. You just need to know that that's a curved surface. Yes, when it folds out, it looks like a rectangle like we talked about yesterday. But it's really, when you put it together, it's curved, so we don't necessarily call it a face. There are no edges, and there are no vertices. In this particular one, notice that they're all rectangles. Don't assume they're squares unless we tell you they're squares. So they all look like rectangles to me, which means the base shape is a rectangle, and there will be two of them. So that is a rectangular prism. It is a prism because there are two bases, which means there are 4 faces. And again, I always like to think about the three-dimensional figure when I'm figuring out those edges and vertices. The vertices, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that makes 8. Edges, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 4 connecting the other ones, so 12. This one's probably pretty easy to identify as well. It is a cone because the base is a circle, the one base, and we have a curved surface for our lateral face. There are no edges because this is a curved surface, so there's no edges created anywhere, but there is this one vertex at the top. Oops, I put V instead of 1. That is all for this particular assignment. You will see more example of nets and how to identify their pieces on your homework.